Greetings, my fellow freedom lovers and sovereign thinkers. Thank you for tuning to LL3 Podcast. My name is Craig, transmitting from the beautiful swampy mangroves of South Florida, and today's date is Tuesday, December 15th, 2020. Almost like said 1791 there originally. Well, this day in history, Virginia ratified the Bill of Rights, which stands for Government Keep Out. Today, we should all celebrate fundamental principles of what our culture is all about. I'll be doing a couple of articles pertaining to it. It's good to know, share, etc. Yes, even with all this debacles going on with the elections and the chaos around the world, political chaos, famine and all that, don't get me wrong, it's disturbing. Hopefully all you folks out there are preparing yourselves if things happen down here in the States. So, all about natural law as well. So I'm going to start off. Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. Just start off here from nationaltoday.com. Bill of Rights Day, December 15th, 2020. American Historical. And this is what they have to say about Bill of Rights Day. The Bill of Rights Day is observed on December 15th in the United States. It's an important day to celebrate America's Constitution, the framework of society that ascribes rights and freedoms to society. Bill of Rights Day commemorates the ratification of the first 10 amendments to the U.S. Constitution, with the National Archives documenting its celebrations of the day. The bill was introduced by James Madison, who later became the fourth president of the United States. Now, the Bill of Rights is displayed in the rotunda of the National Archive building in Washington, D.C., as a reminder to all Americans of their constitutional freedoms. History of the Bill of Rights Day. The First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution were ratified. First Amendments to the Constitution were ratified on December 15th, 1791. The 10 Amendments protected the most basic rights of Americans, known as the Bill of Rights. It consists of notions like freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom of the press, the right to protest, and equal protection under the law. Okay? That's everyone. Before it was, free persons and non-free persons. Now it's everyone. So you always have this. You don't need social justice warriors, anything like that. But educate, teach this document. Other amendments include the right to bear arms, protection against unreasonable searches and seizures, and so forth. Former President Franklin D. Roosevelt issued a proclamation that dedicated December 15th as Bill of Rights Day. Well, he did something right for once. This was made in honor of the Constitution to celebrate the document's 150th anniversary. The first Bill of Rights Day took place just 8 days after the Pearl Harbor attack and America's entry into World War II. In a historic radio address, President Roosevelt made an opening for the first Bill of Rights Day in 1941. He stated, "No date in the long history of freedom means more to liberty-loving men and all liberty-loving countries than the 15th day of December, 1791. Roosevelt also mentioned that there isn't a country across the globe that hasn't felt the effects of the Bill of Rights. Directly or indirectly, Hitler and the Nazis in Germany were denounced during the famous speech for taking away individual freedoms." And that was like after the, I'm correct, the burning of the Reichstag building. President Harry Truman issued another proclamation 5 years later in 1946 after Congress requested to observe Bill of Rights Day again. World War II had come to an end just a year before, in 1945, but it wasn't until 1962 that President Truman proclaimed the Bill of Rights Day to be observed every year? 1962, President Truman. If I'm correct, that was John F. Kennedy. Okay. The proclamation usually coupled with the proclamation of Human Rights Day and Week. In 2019, President Donald Trump proclaimed December 15th as the Bill of Rights Day again. That was December 4th, if I'm correct. He did that. I did a show on that, too. So during Human Rights Day, Bill of Rights Day, and Human Rights Week, we celebrate the Bill of Rights for safeguarding our God-given rights and protecting us from the abuse of government power. Trump noted, I call upon the people of the United States to mark these observances with appropriate ceremonies and activities. Here's the timeline. First Amendments ratified, 1791. The First Amendments to the Constitution are ratified. Before this, the 13 sovereign states filed the Articles of Confederation, created the Second Continental Congress. 1941, first Bill of Rights Day observed. President Franklin D. Roosevelt issued a proclamation dedicating December 15th as Bill of Rights Day to celebrate the document's 150th anniversary. Virginia's traveling copy in 1991, the Virginia copy of the Bill of Rights toured the country in honor of its bicentennial visiting of the capitals of all 50 states. 2019, Trump makes proclamation. President Trump proclaims December 15th as Bill of Rights Day again, noting that people around the world are empowered when human rights are protected by law. Of course, they got a couple of frequent asked questions. What did President Truman say about the Bill of Rights? Like he said here, during the ceremony that was held in December 15th, 1952, Truman declared, we are assembled here on this Bill of Rights Day to honor to the three great documents which together constitute the charter of our form of government. Why is Bill of Rights important? The amendments known as Bill of Rights were designed to protect the basic rights of U.S. citizens, guaranteed freedom of speech, press, assembly, and exercise of religion, and many more. It is the framework in the Constitution. In other words, government keep out. Why is the Bill of Rights important? The amendments known as the Bill of Rights were designed to protect the basic rights of U.S. citizens, guaranteeing freedom of speech, press, assembly, exercise. I already said that. What impact did the Bill of Rights have? The Bill of Rights has proven to be one of the most influential documents in contemporary history, codifying the theory of natural rights, which holds that humans are granted certain freedoms and liberties by God, and that the state should not have the power to infringe upon those rights. And hopefully that Congressman Deutsch and all the tyrannical lackeys in Washington, D.C. will understand that. How to observe Bill of Rights Day. Display the flag of the United States at work or at home, going to past a public building. Why not show a deeper sense of national pride today by raising the United States flag for everyone to see? Quiz yourself on the Bill of Rights. Number 2. How well do you know American history? Do you know the basic facts about the Bill of Rights? Why not treat yourself online? If you're a student, you might do one at school to celebrate the day. If you're an adult, there's an array of quizzes available online that you can take. Make it fun and competitive by inviting friends and family around and test each other. It will not only be beneficial exercise, but you might learn something new about the foundations of America. I always tell folks a good thing to read too is on the 5,000-year leap. It has to talk about the Bill of Rights, but about the history of how everything was structured, too, including the U.S. Constitution. Very good stuff. Watch a historical video. There are a number of historical videos you can watch online that might help you make more sense of the Bill of Rights. You can see President Harry Truman and Chief Justice Fred Vinson speak on the importance of the document in a ceremony at the National Archives. You can watch panel discussions about the story behind the Bill of Rights and why it matters. Visual storytelling can help us greatly in giving us more rebound view on the topic. 5 facts about the Bill of Rights you might not know. 1. The Bill of Rights travels. The Bill of Rights toured the U.S. for 18 months from 1947 to 1949 on the Freedom Train. 2. Not all states ratified it quickly. Bill of Rights was ratified on December 15, 1791. However, Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Georgia waited until 1939 to ratify it. Interesting there. So at least 10 states did ratify it, so that's what made it legit. 3. Bill of Rights on display. The Bill of Rights display at the National Archives contained 12 proposed amendments. 4. Progress in the making. The original proposed Second Amendment eventually became the 27th Amendment in 1792. Folks, look it up. I'm not going to tell you. Look it up. 5. James Madison originally incorporated the amendments into the text of the Constitution rather than adding them to the end. Why is Bill of Rights Day important? It reminds us of our rights. So the very foundation of the fundamental rights in the United States is incorporated into the Bill of Rights. Without it, we wouldn't know what our civil liberties are. I call it natural rights. That's the thing. Natural rights. So sometimes they use civil as like by man, but it's natural rights. Okay, so we'll leave it at that. Natural liberties. The Bill of Rights is the first 10 amendments to the U.S. Constitution which guarantee essential rights such as the right to free speech and the right to bear arms, as well as reserving the right to the people and the states. It is important to remember today and every day. B. It's the framework of the United States. The United States prides itself on civil rights and liberties. I'll just keep going. I'm not going to repeat myself. The vision of the Founding Fathers. Can you imagine our country without the Bill of Rights? Without it, the entire country entire Constitution would fall apart. Well, respectfully, I'll stop from there. Respectfully, I know the Anti-Federalists talked about that too, and a gentleman codenamed Publius did one on 84, Anti-Federalist Papers 84, without a Bill of Rights. And it's very interesting. However, the states actually had them, Declaration of Rights and Bill of Rights, but they were really more concerned about the national level. So I'll just keep on going here. What it says here, since it's the framework of the government, the original image of America's freedom would stray without the Bill of Rights. After all, it protects the rights of all citizens of the United States. So it's always good to know your state constitution as well, folks. Because sometimes when folks use the U.S. Constitution, the Bill of Rights, U.S. Bill of Rights on the state level, it becomes they exercising a corporation doctrine. All right, and that's why I encourage everyone to look at your state's version of Bill of Rights or Declaration of Rights. Because Florida's under Article 1. I know some states like New Mexico and Colorado have Article 2, which is called Bill of Rights. It's good to know these things because you want to have more. You got more intellectual ammunition on your side. Trust me, I've done it. And I'll tell you one thing. I've done it, and I get people like they all like dumbfounded. But it's good to know. Hey, now we got the technology right on our fingertips, including our cell phones. Utilize it, not just manifest on cute little comical stuff. I like entertainment myself, but you got opportunity to learn a lot more. Educate yourselves. All right. C is simply about human rights. The Bill of Rights incorporates the basic rights every human being should have. Forget about nations and borders. Essentially, the Constitution is simply about rights of human beings in general. They are rights that should be inherited to all human beings, regardless of race, sex, nationality, ethnicity, language, religion, or any other status. Rights of individuals. No special needs here. Okay. Fundamental human rights, including things like to life and liberty, freedom from slavery and torture, freedom of opinion and expression, the right to work and education, and many more. This is the framework of the Bill of Rights and the very basics of what we should be granted as human beings. Okay? Screw the cancel culture. If they get offended, give the big middle finger. Okay? They're nothing more than Orwellian snowflakes and or saps. Alright, so, you're an individual. You choose your own destiny. Don't let these her-conformed movements get to you. They're just an example, cancel culture, okay? There's a bunch of subversified groups out there, and especially when they fight against one another, they want me to take sides. I just laugh at them, okay? Because going to the bathroom is more inspiring than your rhetoric, all right? So I'll keep them on here. And, of course, the Bill of Rights dates, 2020, December 15th is today, Tuesday. Of course, on 2021, it'll be on a Wednesday, and 2022 on a Thursday, and 2024 on a Friday, 2023 on a Friday, and 2024 on a Sunday. Okay, so you folks can all know about that. There's good stuff here, and there's stuff that got some Bill of Rights there related to holidays, and it's good to know, folks. There's people out there don't even, like, you got these bobbleheaded politicians and their her-conformed lackeys. Well, but no, there's no such thing as but. Here's the only thing you can say, as long as you don't violate others. There's the difference. Violate others. Not by criticizing any the U.S. government or even foreign governments. Remember, there's some people, if you criticize a foreign government like Israel on some of their actions, they want to label you anti-Semitic. Pathetic. I'm just saying that as an example. And don't worry, I don't hate Jews. Okay? And people that know me long enough, I don't do that. That's a waste of energy. Judge them by their actions? Absolutely. That's to anyone, any place, anyone, any institution. All right? And, of course, right to keep and bear arms. All those laws in the books pertaining to firearms, gun control, it's null and void, including Patriot Act, all those other stuff in the all those laws, multiple laws they have in there that violates your individual rights is invalid. Plain and simple. Nothing self-explanatory. I'm going to do one more here pertaining to this subject, like Tara Ross. Looks like I follow her on Facebook. Good stuff here. And this is real short. It says here, this day in history, Happy Bill of Rights Day. On this day in 1791, Virginia ratifies the Bill of Rights, making those 10 constitutional amendments the law of the land. Bill of Rights, of course, includes protection for such thing as freedom of speech, right to a trial by fair, right to a trial by jury, and the right to keep and bear arms. Ratifications of the Bill of Rights couldn't have been too surprising. The country had been stewing over the ideas for years, ever since the Constitution was proposed to the states in 1791. And it's interesting here because James Madison wrote on here. My own opinion. Hold on here. Whoops. I'm going to read this for the time being. My own opinion has been in favor of a Bill of Rights, provided it's to be framed as not to imply power not meant to be included in the enumeration. That was James Madison, letter to Thomas Jefferson, October 17th, 1788. Yeah, so that's good stuff. Good stuff, my friends. I'll continue on here. At the time, any Federalists were quick to denounce the proposed document, partly because it lacked a Bill of Rights. And like I said, if you read any Federalist Papers 84, it tells you all about it. On the other side, pro-Constitution Federalists such as James Madison argued that a Bill of Rights was unnecessary. national government created by the Constitution was created to one of limited powers. It had only the power specifically given to by the Constitution. Why create a list of things that it cannot do? Creating such a list might cause confusion about limited nature of a new national government. Nevertheless, the agitation for a Bill of Rights continued in many states. One moment. Ratified the Constitution, but also sent recommendations for amendments to the first Congress. As for James Madison, his position changed over time. At the Constitutional Convention, he seemed unconcerned when a Bill of Rights was not included in the Constitution. Nevertheless, he was wavering after about a year. In October 1788, he told Jefferson that he generally favored a Bill of Rights, assuming it did not give the national government new powers by implication. But he never thought that omission of these amendments was a material defect in the Constitution. Instead, he viewed a Bill of Rights as a mere parchment barrier. In other words, a Bill of Rights was simply words on paper. The real protection for people's rights lay in the structure of the Constitution, a structure with separation of powers and other checks and balances. By June 1789, Madison has evolved still more. By then, he was an active advocate for a Bill of Rights. He represented a set of proposed amendments to Congress. Madison gave a long speech to the House in which he explained his reasons. He still worried that a Bill of Rights, because it enumerates particular exceptions to the grant of power, might cause some to assume that any rights not singled out were intended to be assigned into the hands of the general government. However, he thought the Congress might write the amendments in such a way as to guard against that problem. And he thought that adoption of a Bill of Rights might assuage some concerns among the public. If amendments cannot be adopted that will not injure the Constitution, even as satisfaction is given to doubting part of our fellow citizens, then Madison believed that the effort was worthwhile. By 1798, Congress had approved 12 amendments that sent it to the states. 10 of these approved as Bill of Rights that we celebrate today. What do you think? Was Madison right the first time in 1787? Or was his new position, 1789, better? Yeah, you could always question that. That makes a lot of sense. And there's some primary sources on here as well. And, yeah, it's good to know these things, my friends. And, hey, I always support it, teach it, share it. Like I said before, my friends, the more you know, the more you implement it, the less you fear. And always, like I said before, study your state constitutions as well. Even if you're a citizen, natural born, naturalized, or a resident. Even if some people are in here illegally, they have a right to due process. It's all in there. Part of our heritage, our culture. And never let it be extinguished. Even though we see this color revolution going on, which we all know is bankster approved. New World Order 101. The way to fight them is to exercise our Bill of Rights culture with no exceptions. And that will be it. I'd like to thank everyone for listening. Plus, feel free to download and share this throughout your social media networks. If you have any questions, comments, or send something that's interesting you want to check out, wherever you do, please send your correspondence to Decorum. Furthermore, I will leave these footnotes on my Spreaker page. And if you want to contact me, you can hit me at LokiLuck3@gmail.com or LokiLuckNumbers03@protonmail.com. If you want to do a donation, you can hit me at paypal.me/LokiLuck3. And if you want to send donations to the other sites, I encourage it. Once again, thank you for your time. Plus, always remember that demoniac resistance is healthy for the soul and can liberate humanity. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Keep on spreading the love. And may your guardian spirits be with you.